Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today is going to be the day 5th of our DSA in Python playlist, and today we are going to solve some problems, and those problems will be basically based on loops and if else conditions. Okay, and the first question that you can see here is check prime. So what we have to do here is we need to check if the number that is given to us is a prime number or not. Okay, and we need to return true and false, or we need to print true and false based on that. Okay, so first of all the question is how to know what is a prime number. So a number is called prime when it does not have any divisors, okay, except the number itself and 1 itself and 1. Okay, so this is the definition of a prime number. In the previous video we saw how to find the divisors, right? If you haven't seen that video and you don't have an idea, please check out my previous video, and then you can get an overlook of what and how to find the divisors, and then you can move on with this video. Okay, so first of all, here we know that we need to find the divisors. Okay, and what we have here is that the means let's say we have 2 or 3. These all are prime numbers, right? Because they are divisible by 1 and itself only. 3 is also divisible by 1 and itself only. So such numbers are called prime numbers. Now let's say we create a condition such that this number, okay, we are starting the division from the numbers after 1 and less than that number. In that condition we should not find any divisors, right? Let's say we have 4 here, okay, and I am starting, the divisors are 1 to 4, right? And I am starting from 2 here and I am going till 3 only. So we will see that 4 is divisible by 2, so this is not going to be a prime number. But let's say I have 7 here, okay, and I am starting from 2, I will go till 6, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and I see that I am not finding any divisors here, right? None of them can divide 7. So we can find out simply that this is a prime number. So what we have to do, we will start iterating from 2 and we will go to the number less than n, and we will try dividing in that, and if we are not finding any divisors we will return true, otherwise we will return false. Okay, now how we will know that it is getting divided or not? So in order to do that we will keep a count of the numbers. So basically the count should be returned as 0, then only it will be a prime number, otherwise it is not a prime number, right? So what we will do, we will start a for loop and it will start from 2 and it will go less than n, right? And what we will do, we will check if n is divided by I or not. If it is divisible, then what we will do, we will increment the value of count by 1, which is initialized by 0, right? Now out of the loop we will check if c is equals to 0 or not, and if it is equals to 0 then we have a prime number, otherwise we don't have a prime number, else print not prime. So this is one way to solve the problem, right? And like what we are doing, we are starting and going less than n, right? Means let's say we have 7 as the number, so we are iterating up at most 5 times, right? We will go start from 3, 4, 5, 6. We are iterating 4 times, right? Now we can reduce this to half, right? Let's say I have 12 here and 13 here. So 12 here, it has divisors 1, 2, then we have 3, 4, 6 and 12, right? Let's say I am iterating for the half only, so 12 by 2 we will get 6, right? Now we will iterate for half only, then also we will see that these numbers are divisible, these numbers are dividing 12, right? So even if we are iterating half of the length of the number, means we will iterate till 6 here, right? So we will see that we are getting our required answer. Let's say we have 13 here, so we will get 13 and 1 only. So if we are means reaching dividing this n by 2 and going till 6, we will know that if this is a prime or not. How do we know that? Means here what is happening, we are multiplying 2 by 4, right? Then 3 by 4 and 2 by 6, then we are getting 12. If we are iterating for the half of the times, then also we will get one divisor, right? So we can reduce the, let's say we are iterating n number of times to n by 2 times. So what will happen, we will be iterating less number of times and our program will run fast, or the code will become efficient. So this is basic optimization of a code. Means how do we optimize the code? Means we reduce the number of iteration and our program works the same and gives the output in the same way like we are getting in the brute force approach or the basic approach. Brute force is basically the approach that is not that efficient and comes to our mind as soon as we see the question, or for the first step that while we are solving a question, then the approach that comes to our mind is basically a brute force approach that will work for small conditions but not for it will not be a very efficient code, and we will be solving it again and again to get an optimized version of that code, right? So for this till now this is an optimized approach. Okay, so what we will do, we will first run the value from 1 to 2 to less than n also, and we will run for n by 2 also, and then we will see that how this code works. Now let's move on to the code. So let's solve this code. Now what we will do here, we will initialize n with, we will take input n, and now what we will do, we need two variables, one as a count and one I to iterate, right? So I and C, I will be initialized with 2, right? Because we will check from 2 to less than n, right? So now what we will do, we will check condition I is less than n, and what we will do here, we will take modulus value. If n mod I is equals 0, then we will increment the C by 1, and we need to update I also every time. So I plus is equals to 1. Now if we have a prime number, in such cases our C will remain as 0 only. So we will print true here, because in the question we have been told that if we are finding a prime number, then we need to print true, otherwise we need to print false. Okay, so I will print false here. Now let's run this code problem. So this code has been accepted. Now in this question only I will be making small changes. Okay, so instead of just starting from going till n, I will go till n by 2. Okay, less than equals to n by 2. Equals to n by 2. Why am I doing double slash? Because I want an integer value, right? So let's try to run it again. So this code also has been accepted. Okay, so this was like a kind of better approach than the previous one. Now we know how to check a number is prime or not. Okay, so we will today we will be seeing one more question, that is how to reverse a number. Okay, because once you know how to reverse a number, then what we can do, we can solve a problem called palindrome number. Okay, so what is a palindrome number? Palindrome number is a number which when reversed, it will be same as the original value. Okay, so first we will learn how to reverse a number, Then we will see what is a palindrome number. So now let's see how to reverse a number. Okay, reverse a number. In cases where you know that a number is going to be 1 digit or 2 digit or 3 digit, then what you can do, let's say I know that the number is going to be a 2 digit number. So what I can do, I can simply divide this number by 10. So what I will get in the remainder, I will get 1, right? I am getting the number in the remainder as 1, and quotient I will be getting is 2, right? And simply what I can do, I can reverse this by multiplying this by 1 into 10 plus 2, right? So I will get 12 as the answer. Okay, so this is only possible when you know that the number is going to be a 3 digit number or 2 digit number. But let's say you don't know what is the length of the digit, what is the number of digits in the number, or means you just have an idea that you need to reverse, but it is not given that it is going to be like given number of there is going to be a given number of digits. Okay, so in such cases we will use iteration. Okay, we will iterate on each digit of the number and we will get it each digit and we will reverse using that digit. Now how to do that, right? So we will see that in this now. Okay, so let's say I have 21 only. Now I know that in order to get the remainder I will be using mod 10. Okay, and this mod 10 we will be getting a required value in each case. Okay, let's say I have 122 here. Okay, so when I do mod 10 I will be getting 2 here in the remainder, right? So our first digit is, we are getting our first digit every time using mod 10. Okay, so in order to get a digit, yeah, we can get it using remainder, right? So our digit, let's say I am storing it in D, so I can get it using n mod 10. Okay, whether it be 1 2 3 1, if I am dividing it by 10, in the remainder I will get 1. Okay, now I am getting this value, but now I need to get 3 also, 2 also, 1 also. For that what I can do, let's say I have already gotten this 1 in the value and now I need 3, right? So for that what I can do, I can divide. Here I am taking modulus, right? Here if if I divide it by 10, then what will I get? I will get 123, right? If I am doing n is equals to n divided by 10, what will I get in our quotient? I will get 123. So I can simply assign it to my n, right? What I can do here, n is equals to n divided by 10. So let's say I am printing D here. Okay. So first what I am getting? I am getting 1. Then what I am doing, I am dividing the n by 10. Then what my n gets updated to, right now my D is 1, n gets updated to 123, right? It was before 1231. Now this n is getting updated to 123. Again I am doing mod 10. Then what I am getting? I will be getting 3 here, right? So I will give 3 here and again it is getting divided. Then what I will get here? I will get 12. Again after this, in the second step, another step, what will happen? We will again take n mod 10, right? So what I will get in the another digit? I will get 2 here. So we are getting 2. Now again after getting the digit, what we are doing? We are dividing the n by 10. So the quotient that I will get here will be 1. Now again if I am doing 1 mod 10, then I will be getting 1 only, right? Because for the number which is less than the dividend, then if the dividend is less than the divisor, okay, then in the remainder we are getting this number only. Okay, because we are expecting that we will be multiplying it with 0, right? So quotient will become 0 and we will get 1 here. Okay, so I will get 1 in the digit, and again as I told that in the quotient we will be getting 0 here. So I need to stop somewhere, right? So if let's say I have started the loop and I am not stopping. In that case, what will happen? It will get stuck in a loop where after this 1 3 2 1 I will only be getting zeros. Okay, after this what I will get? I will get 0 0 0 and it will be stuck in a loop. Okay, but I don't want that. In order to break out of the loop, what we can do here? We can check while n is greater than 0, right? Once I am getting n as 1 and this is working and printing, the 1 is getting printed, and when n is becoming 0, it will break out of the loop. Now we have an idea what we have to do and how we have to make the loop so that we are getting each and every digit of a number. So what we are doing here? We are checking if the number is greater than 0 or not, and what we are doing here? D is equals to n mod 10 and n is equals to n divided by 10, right? This is updating the 10 n also. Here n is only working as the iterator of the loop because n is getting updated and the condition is getting checked for n only. Okay, so now we need to reverse this number, right? I am getting 1 3 2 1, right? The original number was 1 2 3 1, right? So I need to solve this question in such a way that this entire thing gets added at once. So for that, what I can do, if let's say I am storing it in a variable called reverse. Now for the first index, means 1 to get stored, this reverse should be 0, so that if I am adding 1 here, it is getting stored. So let's say I am adding 1, so this is getting stored as 1. Now reverse gets updated to 1. Now I want to make this number as 13. How do we make a number as 13? We multiply it by, let's say I multiply 10 with 1 and we add 3 here. So what I can do here? 10 is multiplied by 1 plus and we are adding 3. So we are getting 13 here. Reverse is getting updated. Again, now I need to make it 132, right? So that again we will multiply 10 with 13 and we will add 2 there. So we will get 132. In the same way, reverse, what we will do? We will multiply 132 with 10 and we will add 1 here. So I will get 1321. Now we see that every time we are updating reverse with the previous value and we are multiplying it with 10, right? So if I am initializing reverse with 0 and in the first step I am doing 10 multiplied by 0, then since 0 multiplied by anything we will get 0 only, so we will get 1 in the first step. So now what we can do? We can multiply reverse with initial value 0 only. So reverse with 10 and we will add the digit there. So we will get a reverse number. So what we will do here? Reverse multiply by 10 and then we will add D here. So this will return as reverse number. We are getting a reverse number here. Okay. So now let's try to code it. Okay. We will move on to the code editor and we will see how if this code works or not. So let's see the code now. Now first what we will do, we will take a number as input and then we will start iterating on that number only. So while n is greater than 0, D is equals to n mod 10 and then we will reverse the number. Reverse multiply 10 plus D. So we have to initialize this also. Although I know that this multiplication will be done first, okay, but then also just for a neat code I am adding brackets here. Okay, now you can go and check out, means you can go and once learn what is operator precedency, so you will not face any problems there. I will mention in a document in the description. You can go and have a overlook of what is operator precedency. Okay, so and what I will do here, n is equals to n divided by 10 and then I am already getting the reverse number here, right? out of the loop I will print this reverse number. Let's see if this code works or not. So I am taking input as 123. So I am getting 321 as my output, right? Now I'll run it again and let's see if it works on any other digit number also. Let's run 12 and I'm getting 21. So this is how you reverse a number when you don't know the number of digits present in that number. Also there is one more way to solve that, but we will be seeing that when we will be studying string. Okay, now and in the upcoming video or tomorrow's video we will see how to find a number is palindrome or not, and any further question that is depending on the reverse number. Okay, so that's it for today guys. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments, and in case you have any doubts, please let me know that also, so I can clarify that. And in order to continue with me in this coding journey, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you will be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching.